We are Systematic Excellence Consulting, and today is our first episode of Masterfully Integrated, where we are going to talk all things business operations, efficiencies, talk about leadership, management. So Janine and I, we help small businesses with their internal operations and structures, processes, those kinds of things to help them scale. So just give me a minute. I'm going to make sure that we're live and everything is going properly. And then we'll get started. Okay, so I can see that we're live. So just give me 1 second. Just make sure. Here we go. All right, just need to share this. Let's see. Just sharing it to my other page. Okay, perfect. And then let me just make sure it went to the other page. Hold on. You just got to make sure we got all the tech stuff under control here. Let's see, make sure it went over there.
It's always fun the first time around, isn't it?
Yes, we got to. And there's a delay, so I can see my face moving over here. Okay, we're good. All right, we're live. Both pages done. Okay. Awesome. So I'm super excited to start this, and in the to prevent us from overthinking it, I told Janine that this is what we were doing, and she had to agree to it. So I'm really excited that. Anyway, all right. So our first question. Oh, so I do want to say that this is going to be a Q&A. So please join. Oh. Sajid's here. Hi. That's our first question that we're going to answer. We're going to talk about in just a second. So we're going to do this kind of Q&A. Okay.
Anyway, I was saying
Facebook cut us off. Sorry. Part 2.
But as far as the onboarding process, making sure that what you want from them is really clear and that you're integrating them into your team quickly. We've gotten comments from people about onboarding processes where they felt like, once on their date of hire, they were kind of left twiddling their thumbs for a while, and there wasn't really a smooth and continuous onboarding process. And where that personality difference comes in is you could have equally qualified and eager to please and do the work people, but some personalities are just going to run with it and you have to rein them in a little, whereas others don't want to go outside the boundaries that you set, so they're waiting for you to set the boundaries of what it is that you want them to do. So I would take a look at that as well.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm just sharing it back over to my other page here. I'm really sorry. Okay, so let's see. I don't think that there were any additional comments or anything. Okay, so hopefully we answered your question about that. And this sort of what you were talking about leads to what we were going to discuss as far as having the processes. So one of the things, so we can kind of lead into this, kind of a nice lead in here, is hiring someone. I saw someone post in a group about hiring someone to repurpose their content, which is obviously, that's super helpful. If you can just do one piece and then it gets put out into all these other places, right? So it's a really helpful thing to do, but it is time consuming. So kind of on the same, in the same way that you want to have your onboarding process nailed down and smooth and understand, okay, they need to go from day one when they come on board, what is the list of things that they need to go through? So in the same way, when you want to get ready to hire someone for repurposing your content, it is it would behoove you to have the process already established. So that way, when you bring someone on, there is the process. Okay, here's the process I use, already detailed, whether it's spelled out in a Google Doc or it's recorded on a video, however you want to do it. I recommend having both. And then if you use a project management tool, let's say Trello or Asana, have it kind of spelled out that way. It makes it a lot easier and smoother when you're bringing someone on. And if there is a way to refine or improve the process once you bring that person on, maybe they know something you don't know, then that's fine. But initially, when you bring someone on, it's important to have that process refined and recorded somewhere. I don't know, Janine, do you have anything else to add to that? Just having that already established when you bring them on?
Well, that one, just something that came to mind was for content repurposing in particular. It's like, remember when you're repurposing to multiple platforms, like all the platforms are a little different, and it's rare to find someone who's really good at everything, right? There are people who specialize in every platform. Some are super visual, some are more text oriented, depending on what you want, and not everybody has those same strengths, right? So you want to be mindful of where their strengths are and build and differentiate as you go with that.
Yeah. And also recognizing what part of the process you want to play or do, and then what part of the process you want someone to take care of. So, if you're good at design and you are, if you have a podcast and you're good at design, maybe you're going to create all the images for it, but you need someone to edit the podcast and then someone to write all the copy for it, right? So then you might be looking for maybe 2 people to hire, someone to write the copy, someone to do the editing, but then you'll do the design. So it just depends on where you want to put your time. And then if you want to hire the whole process out, all you want to do is just record the podcast and then be done, then you're going to be looking at needing a bigger team of people to support that, right? That might look like hiring an agency or something like that. We work with a digital marketing agency called Dixo4 that does it's full service. So it does everything from editing, right? From editing to publication to advertising it. So social media, graphics, copywriting, all those pieces of it. So if that's something you're looking for, then you would be looking more for an agency versus just one person to do that. Now, if you're going to write your copy, you're going to do your images, you're going to record your podcast, and you're just looking for someone just to take what you've done and post it, then you might be looking for a social media manager or a VA, something like that. So I think it depends probably how much you want to be involved in it and how much you don't. But either way, just starting out before you bring anyone on is to get that process recorded and have it in more than one place. So video recording of you doing it, and then spelled it out in a Google Doc. And then one of the things that Janine and I do is we take whatever those standard operating procedures are, or whatever that process is, translate that into our project management tool. And we do that for clients, to make sure that it's in more than one place. And that way, like if something that breaks, if Trello's down or Asana's down, then you have it somewhere else. And, so you're able to have it in multiple places. So.
But you definitely want to hold on to that stuff. We've had some people that don't get the final deliverables, the content themselves, and save them themselves. They just leave it with the contractor. And those things can be repurposed, because social media, when you come back around again, you want to, and review it later, you want to take what worked really well and build upon that. So you need to hang on to your assets in a place where you can find them again.
Okay. All right. So I don't think we have any other questions. I was trying to make sure that Facebook didn't kick us off again. It looks like we're still on. So hopefully, anyway, so Sajid, hopefully we answered your question. If we didn't, let us know. Feel free to reach out, to Janine and I, in a message and let us know. But hopefully we answered your question. Again, we're going to be here every Friday, 10:30 Eastern. And we'll be answering your questions. So feel free to submit questions to us that you have. It actually makes our lives easier, because then we don't have to try to come up with stuff, but we're problem solvers. So bring the questions, bring the hard topics, and listen, if we can't answer it, we will find someone that can. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, so we look forward to see you guys next week. This was episode 1. We talked about how to determine when you're hiring someone, between someone that's a good interviewer and someone that would be really good at the position, but maybe they didn't interview as well. And then we also addressed bringing someone on to help you repurpose your content. So if there's any question or anything, please comment or send us a message. So we'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.